प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
हरे हरे
श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
हरे हराय नमः
कृष्ण यादवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches the symptoms of a Vaishnava to the inhabitants of Kulina Grama, part 2. Under the section, the Lord's attempt to go to Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita, CC, Madhya, 1669.
সত্যরাজাদের পূর্ব বৎসর প্রভুকে সকর্তব্য জিজ্ঞাসা কুলীন গ্রামী পূর্ববৎ কইল নিবেদন প্রভু আজ্ঞা করো কর্তব্য আমার সাধন.
As in the previous year, one of the inhabitants of Kulina Gram submitted a petition to the Lord saying, "My Lord, kindly tell me what my duty is and how I should execute it." CC Madhya 1670.
প্রভুর উত্তর প্রভু কহে বৈষ্ণব সেবা নাম সংকীর্তন দুই কর শীঘ্র পাবে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চরণ.
The Lord replied, "You should engage yourself in the service of the servants of Krishna and always chant the holy name of Krishna. If you do these two things, you will very soon attain the shelter at Krishna's lotus feet." Haribo. CC Madhya 1671.
সত্যরাজাদের প্রভুকে বৈষ্ণব লক্ষণ জিজ্ঞাসা তেহ কহে কে বৈষ্ণব কি তার লক্ষণ তবে হাসি কহে প্রভু জানি তার মন.
The inhabitant of Kulina Gram said, "Please let me know who's actually a Vaishnava and what his symptoms are." Understanding his mind, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and gave the following reply. CC Madhya 1672.
প্রভুর মধ্যম বৈষ্ণব লক্ষণ নির্দেশ কৃষ্ণ নাম নিরন্তর যাহার বদনে সেই বৈষ্ণব শ্রেষ্ঠ ভজ তাহার চরণে.
A person who is always chanting the holy name of the Lord is to be considered a first-class Vaishnava, and your duty is to serve his lotus feet. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that any Vaishnava who constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord should be considered to have attained the second platform of Vaishnavism. Such a devotee is superior to a neophyte Vaishnava who has just learned to chant the holy name of the Lord. A neophyte devotee simply tries to chant the holy name, whereas the advanced devotee is accustomed to chanting and takes pleasure in it. Such an advanced devotee is called a Madhyama Bhagavata, which indicates that he has attained the immediate stage between the neophyte and the perfect devotee. Generally, a devotee in the intermediate stage becomes a preacher. A neophyte devotee or an ordinary person should worship the Madhyama Bhagavata, who is a via medium. In his Upadeshamrita, verse number 5, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Pranativischa bhajantam isham. This means that Madhyama Adhikari devotees should exchange obeisances between themselves. The word nirantara, meaning without cessation, continuously, constantly, is very important in this verse. The word antara means interval. If one has desires other than a desire to perform devotional service, in other words, if one sometimes engages in devotional service and sometimes strives for sense gratification, his service will be interrupted. A pure devotee, therefore, should have no desire other than to serve Krishna. He should be above fruitive activity and speculative knowledge. In his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadya narvatam anukullena krishnanu bhakti uttama. This is the platform of pure devotional service. One should not be motivated by fruitive activity or mental speculation, but should simply serve Krishna favorably. That is first class devotion. Another meaning of antara is this body. The body is an impediment to self-realization because it is always engaged in sense gratification. Similarly, antara means money. If money is not used in Krishna's service, it is also an impediment. Antara also means janata, people in general. The association of ordinary persons may destroy the principles of devotional service. Similarly, antara means greed to acquire more money or enjoy more sense gratification. Finally, the word antara may also mean atheistic ideas, by which one considers the temple deity to be made of stone, wood, or gold. All of these are impediments. The deity in the temple is not material. He is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. Similarly, considering the spiritual master as an ordinary human being, Gurushu Naramatihi is also an impediment. Nor should one consider a Vaishnava a member of a particular caste or nation. Nor should a Vaishnava be considered material. Charanamrita should not be considered ordinary drinking water, and the holy name of the Lord should not be considered an ordinary sound vibration. Nor should one look on Lord Krishna as an ordinary human being, for he is the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas. Nor should one regard the Supreme Lord as a demigod. Intermingling the spiritual with material causes one to look on the transcendence as material and the mundane as spiritual. This is all due to a poor fund of knowledge. One should not consider Lord Vishnu and things related to him as being different. All this is offensive. In the Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Prabhu, next page. In the verse beginning, Namaikam Yasya, we find the word Pashanda, godlessness. The word literally indicates misuse of one's body or property, but in that verse it implies the 10 offenses against the Lord's holy name, since each of these leads to such godless behavior. The Mayavadis look on Vishnu and Vaishnavas imperfectly due to their poor fund of knowledge, and this is condemned. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.46, the intermediate Vaishnava is described as follows. The intermediate Vaishnava has to love God, make friends with the devotees, instruct the innocent, and reject the jealous people. These are the four functions of the Vaishnava in the intermediate stage. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.64, it is mentioned that one who is faithful is a proper candidate for devotional service. In the terms of one's degree of faith in devotional service, one is first class, second class, or neophyte Vaishnava. One who has attained the intermediate stage is not very advanced in Shastric knowledge, but he has firm faith in the Lord. Such a person is very fortunate to be situated on the intermediate platform. CC Madhya 22.67. Okay. Rati Prema Taratamye Bhakta Taratama. Attraction and love for God are the ultimate goal of devotional service. The degrees of such attraction and love distinguish the different stages of devotion: neophyte, intermediate, and perfectional. CC Madhya 22.71. An intermediate devotee is greatly attracted to chanting the holy name, and by chanting, he is elevated to the platform of love. If one chants the holy name of the Lord with great attachment, he can understand his position as an eternal servant of the spiritual master and other Vaishnavas and Krishna himself. Thus, the intermediate Vaishnava considers himself Krishna Dasa, Krishna's servant. He therefore preaches Krishna consciousness to the innocent neophytes and stresses the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. An intermediate devotee can identify the non-devotee or motivated devotee. The motivated devotee or the non-devotee are on the material platform and they are called Prakrita. The intermediate devotee does not mix with such materialistic people. However, he understands that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and everything related to him are on the same transcendental platform. Actually, none of them are mundane.
On this, all cases of Adal Adhikari or intermediate devotee begin very elaborately in this purport.
So this qualification of the Madhyama Adhikari or intermediate devotee is given very elaborately in this purport.
And such a pure devotee is to be accepted according to Lord Chaitanya.
So such a pure devotee is to be accepted according to Lord Chaitanya.
And this instruction was given to the residents of Kulinagram.
Such a pure devotee is to be respected according to the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. This instruction was given to the residents of Kulinagram. CC Madhya 1673.
পরে পুনরায় তাহাদের বৈষ্ণব লক্ষণ জিজ্ঞাসায় প্রভুর উত্তর। বর্ষান্তরে পুনঃ তারা ঐছে প্রশ্ন কইল, বৈষ্ণবের তারতম্য প্রভু শিখাইল।
The following year, the inhabitants of Kulinagram asked the Lord the same question. Hearing this question, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again taught them about the different types of Vaishnavas. CC Madhya 16.74.
প্রভুর উত্তম অধিকারী বা মহাভাগবত লক্ষণ নির্দেশ। যাহার দর্শনে মুখে আইসে কৃষ্ণ নাম, তাহারে জানিও তুমি বৈষ্ণব প্রধান।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, a first-class Vaishnava is he whose very presence makes others to chant the holy name of Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that if an observer immediately remembers the holy name of Krishna upon seeing a Vaishnava, that Vaishnava should be considered a Mahabhagavata, a first-class devotee. Such a Vaishnava is always aware of his Krishna conscious duty and he is enlightened in self-realization. He is always in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And this love is without adulteration. Because of this love, he is always awake to the transcendental realization. Because he knows that Krishna consciousness is the basis of knowledge and action, he sees everything as being connected with Krishna. Such a person is able to chant the holy name of Krishna perfectly. Such a Mahabhagavata Vaishnava has the transcendental eyes to see who is sleeping under the spell of Maya, and he engages himself in awakening sleeping conditioned beings by spreading the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. He opens eyes that are closed by forgetfulness of Krishna. Thus, the living entity is liberated from the dullness of material energy and is engaged fully in the service of the Lord. The Madhyam Adhikari Vaishnava can awaken others to Krishna consciousness and engage them in duties whereby they can advance. It is therefore said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, if one cannot understand the value of touchstone until it turns iron into gold, one should judge by action, not by promises. A Mahabhagavata can turn a living entity from abominable material life to the Lord's service. This is the test of a Mahabhagavata. Although preaching is not meant for Mahabhagavata, a Mahabhagavata can descend from the platform of Madhyam Bhagavata to the platform of Madhyam Bhagavata just to convert others to Vaishnavism. Actually, a Mahabhagavata is fit to spread Krishna consciousness, but he does not distinguish where Krishna consciousness should be spread and where it should not. He thinks that everyone is competent to accept Krishna consciousness if the chance is provided. A neophyte and an intermediate devotee should always be eager to hear from Mahabhagavata and serve him in every respect. The neophyte and intermediate devotees can gradually rise to the platform of Uttam Adhikari and become first-class devotees. The symptoms of first-class devotee are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. The most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. When teaching Sanatan Goswami, the Lord further said, one who is expert in the Vedic literature and has full faith in the Supreme Lord is an Uttama Adhikari, a first-class Vaishnava, a topmost Vaishnava who can deliver the whole world and turn everyone to Krishna consciousness. CC Madhya 22.65. With great love and affection, the Mahabhagavata observes the Supreme Personality of Godhead, devotional service, and the devotee. He observes nothing beyond Krishna consciousness, and Krishna's devotee. The Mahabhagavata knows that everyone is engaged in the Lord's service in different ways. He therefore descends to the middle platform to elevate everyone to the Krishna conscious position.
His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he showed this level of Mahabharata.
So His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he showed this level of Mahabhagavat.
Simply by seeing him,
Simply by seeing him,
people start to chant Hare Krishna.
people started to chant Hare Krishna.
And he descended to the Madhyam Adhikari level in the sense that he was preaching Krishna consciousness.
And he descended to the Madhyama Adhikari level in the sense that he was preaching Krishna consciousness.
What he would preach to everyone.
But he would preach to everyone.
He saw everyone as eligible to serve Krishna.
He saw everyone as eligible to serve Krishna.
So we're very fortunate under his shelter.
So we are very fortunate to be under his shelter. CC Madhya 1675.
পূর্ব কর্তৃক ত্রিবিধ অধিকারের বৈষ্ণব লক্ষণ নির্দেশ ক্রম করি কহে প্রভু বৈষ্ণব লক্ষণ বৈষ্ণব বৈষ্ণবতর আর বৈষ্ণবতম
In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the distinctions between different types of Vaishnavas, the Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara, and Vaishnavatama. He thus successively explained all the symptoms of a Vaishnava to the inhabitants of Kulinagram.
Since the devotees of Kanagram wanted to know
Since the devotees of Kulinagram wanted to know
the different levels of Vaishnava,
the different levels of Vaishnava,
finally Lord Chaitanya showed who is a Vaishnava, who is a neophyte, Madhyam, Uttam.
and Lord Chaitanya finally told them who's the Vaishnava, who's the neophyte, who's the Madhyam, and who's the Uttam.
Anyone who chants Hare Krishna, they are Vaishnava.
So anyone who chants Hare Krishna, they're a Vaishnava.
But someone who more advanced, always chanting Hare Krishna
But someone who's more advanced, who's always chanting Hare Krishna
and has love for the Supreme Person,
and have love for the Supreme Person,
he's the Madhyam.
he is the Madhyam.
Someone who simply by seeing him,
Someone who simply by seeing him,
others are inspired to take up chanting or take up Krishna consciousness.
others are inspired to take up chanting, inspired to take up Krishna consciousness.
They're very expert in the philosophy,
And he's very expert in the philosophy.
and he doesn't get confused or bewildered about relating to Krishna.
He don't get confused or bewildered about his duties to Krishna.
Like that, he's an Uttamadhyaya.
So like that, he's a Uttamadhikari.
But he may descend to Madhyam level to preach.
But he may descend to the Madhyam level to preach.
So we need to have people advance.
So we need to have people advance.
Prabhupada said that his devotees are pure devotees,
Prabhupada said that his devotees are pure devotees.
but some are like they're all mangoes,
They are all mangoes,
but some are green,
but some are green,
some are ripening,
some are ripening,
some are fully ripe.
some are fully ripened.
Like that,
So like that,
everyone is a Vaishnava, everyone's pure.
everyone is a Vaishnava, everyone is pure.
What the purity may increase as the faith ripens.
Their purity may may increase as their faith ripens. Thus ends the chapter entitled Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches the symptoms of a Vaishnava to the inhabitants of Kulinagram, Part 2, under the section The Lord's Attempt to Go to Vrindavan.
So you have the poll ready. I'd like to know from the devotees how much of what I say is understandable.
We would like to know from the devotees how much the words that I say it's understandable.
My speech therapist said I should periodically ask devotees.
My speech therapist said that I should periodically ask the devotees.
This will help in my speech therapies.
This will help in my speech therapies.
Are you ready?
Yeah, can you control the remote? Because now, after some time, it will gather many people. Srivatsa Prabhu is saying,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to Guru Maharaj Virtual Book Table from Sridham Mayapur. Jai. So today we have our
okay.
today we have the following GMVT members who participated in the pastime book distribution and received benefits. And before that, I want to read a small message from Srila Prabhupada and Srimad Bhagavatam. The reading and hearing is very Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada says, result of reciting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, very difficult to pronounce even, and what to speak of memorizing. Were narrated very easily, just like reading some printed books. He narrated the whole subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam continuously for 7 days, and Maharaj Parikshit also understood the subject matter very clearly. Both of them were so meritorious that they attained the highest goal of life, namely the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, simply by reciting and hearing respectively. Letter to Valimardana, Tokyo, 25th August 1970. Nanda Maharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. And tomorrow Guru Maharaj is giving Srimad Bhagavatam class morning at 8 a.m. So today our GMVT members, Tapaswini Yashoda Mataji from Malaysia, 9 Gitas. Kamalakshi Madhavi Mataji from Bangladesh, 2 Gitas. Lakshmi Radha Mataji from Madhya Pradesh, 15 Gitas. Datta Prakash Prabhu from Pune, 1001 rupee for Narsimha Chaturdasi Seva. And overall total today, Gurudev distributed 26 Maha Big Books. Hari Bol! On behalf of each of these GMVT members, on every Ekadashi, a special puja is being conducted in Shida Maipur. These wonderful devotees are also getting a special Narsimha puja in a few hours from now in Shida Maipur. Please, all of you also bless by calling out loudly after me. Nitai Gauranga! Even if it is for a single Bhagavad Gita, the virtual table is thankfully looking forward to receive your WhatsApp message at +919434760402 +919434760402. And we need prayers for whoever is suffering from the COVID. Let's pray from the Shri Mayapur. If it pleases to Lord Sri Krishna to protect the devotees all over the world who have affected by Corona. Please chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki.
What,
Hare Krishna.
what,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So Guru Maharaj, as just now Srila Guru Maharaj mentioned, so we are launching this poll. The question is, are you able to understand me without repetition? That means, are you able to understand Guru Maharaj without repetition? So answer based on the percentage, Hare Krishna. 100%, 90%, 80%, 70%, 60 and below 50. We are requesting everyone to participate. Hare Krishna. Not in the chat box, but answer in the poll, okay? On the screen you can. Oh, okay. Some may not know English.
I heard that translator.
Okay.
I thought it was, well, not English. Oh. Which,
Please remember your input. Hare Krishna. Please remember that your input is really important for us. So this will help Guru Maharaj to practice more and everything. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, you see, we have 327 participants, only 253 has participated. Only 77% of the total participants, attendees have participated.
they're not English.
Oh, okay, we are saying that. Bangla.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রিয় ভক্তবৃন্দ গুরু মহারাজ আপনাদেরকে জিজ্ঞাসা করছেন যে আপনারা গুরু মহারাজের কথা মানে কত শতাংশ বুঝতে পারছেন তো ওখানে লেখা রয়েছে আপনারা ওখানে ক্লিক করবেন মানে বলবেন কিছু রাইট হরি বল
Uh, it is very simple. Who doesn't understand till now? I'm getting questions from chat box. Devotees are asking how to participate in poll. Their screen on your screen poll will be appeared. You just choose how much you are able to understand Guru Maharaj, like percentage wise.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So we are back. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Mataji. Guru Maharaj is blessing you, wishing you a wonderful happy birthday. Hari Bol.
Krishna Matirastu.
Krishnir Matirastu. Next.
Big cake.
Yes, big cake.
Big cake.
Thank you
Oh,
very much.
Baba.
Bless me.
Blessings. Krishnir Matirastu. Blessing you, Krishnir Matirastu. Hare Krishna. Okay, Pitambar Gaur Sundar Prabhu from Ambala. Hare Krishna, Pitambar Gaur Sundar Prabhu. Guru Maharaj is wishing you a happy birthday.
Krishna Matirastu.
Krishnir Matirastu. Wow, Guru Maharaj, 2 cakes. Mridanga and harmonium cake. This is Navadip Dham, Vrindavan Forest cake. Hare Krishna.
Guna, please give me your blessings.
Wow, Jai Mata Radha Madhav and Rajapur Jagannath is there. Mayapur Nrsingadev, Panchatattva. Wow, Hari Bol, birthday feast, huh? Thank you for the garland. Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Pitambar Prabhu. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Anusha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Wishing you a happy birthday. Where are you from?
I am from Vijayawada, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. Janmadina Subhakanchalu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is my second birthday after coming to Krishna consciousness. Last year also I got blessings from Maharaj on my birthday, and 2 days from today, like on May 26th, my birthday. From 2 days I am trying to get Maharaj blessings. Thank you so much. Today I
Hare
got
Krishna.
Blessings.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Matirastu.
To Bhagunara. Hare Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Bol.
Maharaj.
Hare
I am
Krishna.
kind by your mercy. I am able to
Okay.
practice.
Very nice. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna. I think we have repeatedly announced that please do not raise your hands. Please, devotees, please cooperate with us. Revati Sandil Kumar Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please unmute. Hare Krishna.
I'm trying to take a Tamil new Bhagavad Gita class. I need your blessings and mercy.
Oh, they want to take Tamil new Bhakti Vriksha class. Where are you from, Mataji? Bangalore. Ah, okay, okay.
In that class from
They want to take it or they want to take?
They want to take, planning to start one.
Oh, they want to start one.
Yeah.
How about it? Which temple they connected with?
In the temple you are connected with
Seshadripuram.
Sheshadripuram.
All right.
Okay.
There are several Bhakti Vriksha leaders there.
So there are several Bhakti Vriksha leaders there.
Chaitanya Avatari, also Vrinda
Okay. Chaitanya Avatari and also what?
Nitai,
Ravindra Nitai.
and many others also.
Many others also. Okay. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Nandri for joining. Kalyana Tirumana Dina Nalval. Okay. Yeah, she's there. Fourth. Hare Krishna, Rasapriya Mataji.
Wow.
Wow, Guru Maharaj, wheat halwa. Hari bol. Come back soon to Mayapur Mataji. Hare Krishna, Braja Krishna Prabhu, Vagunara Prabhu.
She does cook for you.
Yeah, she didn't cook for me. Yeah, I'm supposed to come here cook for Guru Maharaj Mataji. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing both of you. Sorry, we missed you yesterday. Very sorry for that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Gaurpriya Sachimata Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Bhavana and Vyas from Bhopal, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Nitya Shri Abdi Kinga, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ram Kanai Matresh Prabhu, who's that? Your parents? Yeah, Prabhu, can you unmute them?
Hello,
Haribol.
Krishna Matyasu.
Krishna Matrastu. Okay. Joining for the first time, blessings to both of them. Shripati Rama Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Deepak and Aishwarya, Haribol, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Sasimukhi Induleka Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Akil Mahendra Prabhu, urgent prayers. Prabhu, can you unmute them, please? Please unmute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Maharaj, we are looking for your prayers, Maharaj. My mama is badly suffering from black fungus, so just prayer is required, Maharaj. His eye has removed.
His uncle is suffering from black fungus, so he's requiring for your prayers, Shri Guru Maharaj. His uncle. What is his name?
Sanjay.
Ah?
Sanjay Karma, Guru Maharaj.
Sanjay.
Yes. The doctor has removed eyes.
Both the eyes or one?
One eye he has removed. Doctor has removed, Maharaj.
Okay. One eye has been removed.
And doctor is still saying there is less chances that he'll recover from black fungus.
And they're saying it is less chances for him to recover from black fungus.
You don't have the anti-fungus medicine?
You don't have the antifungal medicine?
We are not getting Maharaj from anywhere in India. We are trying a lot to get that medicine, but unfortunately it's not available in Madhya Pradesh. We are trying to get.
I'll pray Lord Nrsimha for him.
I will pray to Lord Nrsimhadev for him.
If he pleases.
If he pleases, may he protect him. Hare Krishna. Amla Manjari Mataji. Oh, Param. Oh, very wonderful. Organic bananas, Guru Maharaj, from her farm. Haribol. That day she was telling me there is some bananas which has Katwa. Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Mataji. Arvindaksha Govind Prabhu, Poha Cutlets by Golokpriya Mataji. Haribol. Golokpriya Mataji should be here in Mayapur cooking for Guru Maharaj. Sudevi Jayashri Mataji, thank you for the darshan of Nitai Sachisuta. Chandru Prabhu Hare Krishna from Bangalore. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Gautam and Kaushik, Guru Maharaj is blessing both of you. Oh, which seaside it is? Hema Sundari Gaurangi Mataji and Ramarup Gaur Prabhu, Hari Bol. Thank you for the wonderful Mahaprasad. Hari Bol. Koti Sasi Gauranga Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Navakishore Govinda Prabhu, Radha Varadeshwari Mataji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing both of you. Mataji, how are you doing? Please unmute if you are able to speak.
Hare Krishna, please accept my respectful obeisances, Guru Maharaj. I have some issue with my right hand. I'm not being able to use for 4 months now. And I'm on Ayurvedic treatment because I cannot go to the regular allopathic. So I need your blessings, Maharaj. We have our in-laws to take care. And my Prabhu, it's getting a challenge for my Prabhu to manage 3 of us. They are 85 and 83.
Okay.
What?
Her right side is not functioning properly. So she didn't go for any allopathic treatment. She went for the Ayurvedic treatment. So for past 4 months, she has been taking, for past 4 months, right, Mataji, I've been taking the...
Yeah, my right elbow, my right hand, I'm not used for 4 months now, 4-5 months now.
Yeah. How many months you have been taking this Ayurvedic treatment?
For 5 months, from the time it started.
Okay. From the time it started.
She chants Hare Krishna.
Yeah, she's initiated, Guru Maharaj. She's here. She's your disciple.
And Guru Maharaj,
I pray that she gets better.
thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. And Prabhu is
Are you
starting-
recovering? Recovering? Is it getting better?
Yes, it is recovering.
Okay. Very nice. Very happy to hear that. So Guru Maharaj is praying for you, Mataji. Please take care of yourself.
Yeah, and Prabhu is starting a Bhagavatam Saptaha from Sunday. So blessings from online. That is online.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Hari Bol.
So we really need Guru Maharaj's blessing so that we are under Prema Padmini Mataji and Vijay.
Okay. Yeah, very nice, Mataji. Very inspiring. Prabhuji, in spite of all his responsibilities, he's taking up Bhagavad Saptaha. It's very nice. And you are also supporting him. It's very nice, Mataji. Blessings from Guru Maharaj. Reena Vinesh Mataji, thank you for the tamarind rice. Santushta Govinda Prabhu, Shila Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Sumadur Gaurahari, long time we didn't meet you. How are you? Good? Hari Bol, yeah, very intelligent. Before we tell it, sir, okay. Sushmita Radhika Mataji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Radha Padavi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. How are you doing, Mataji? Rajeshwar Gaur Prabhu, Mini Banana, Hare Krishna, Shanta Gopi Mataji. Hari Bol, you got your second dose, Prabhuji, of vaccination? Okay. Okay, so we are waiting for you here in Mayapur. Come back soon. Hare Krishna. Damodar Priya Radha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Blessings to all of you. How are you all doing? Devi Shrestha Mataji, Shri Bhangshu Prabhu, thank you for the dates and dry fruits.
Allah.
Yeah, they are showing their heart. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Very well. Wonderful. Dameshwar Dharmendra Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ask them to. Okay, we will go to the next person. Gaurangi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Okay, Shankarshan and Kunjabi Hari, Hare Krishna. Madhavi Mataji, thank you for the orange juice. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ishwara Paramakrishna Prabhu and family, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Oh, Arsi Upma and Jingye Poshto. Oh, good. South Indian and Bengali. What a combination. Janani Mataji and Anand Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Blessings to both of you. Hari Bol. Keshav Kripa Sindhu, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Okay, Vinay Nitai Chand Prabhu, Lakshmi Radha Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Kishori Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Haripal Kishori, how are you? Good. Vinay Nitai Chand Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hari Vishnu Priya Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Leela Mai Nitai Prabhu, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Peter Prabhu, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Vrinda Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Poonam Deepshika Deepu, thank you for the mango milkshake. Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sudhamai Chitra Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Are you still here in Mayapur? Hare Krishna. Take care. Neha and Shivani Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Prema Mai Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Patmanav Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Puja Mataji, Guru Maharaj, Pani Puri. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Shyam Sundar Srinivas Prabhu, Hemavati Mataji and Srida. Haribol. Sulakshana Vaishnavi Mataji from Pune, Panchatattva Guru Maharaj. Jai, Panchatattva Bhagwan ki jai. Rama Bhakti Mataji from Tiruvallur, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Rashi Mataji, thank you for the turmeric milk. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Devendra Madhav Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Haribol. From Rajasthan. Snigdhamai and Saki Mataji, thank you for the jackfruit tacos. Sanat Kumar Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shweta Saha Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sham Krishna Das. Okay, and Sukta Roti, Hare Krishna. Sukta Roti, Sukta and Chapati. We love you. Hare Krishna. Oh, that devotee, he cooks for Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. Sham, I forgot his name. I remember I was serving with him in Sunil Prabhu. Oh, yes. Yeah, he cooks for the deities in Vrindavan. Suchitra Revati Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sunirmala Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Oh, Roti Dal. Okay. Sushmita Paul Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Surat from Diya Mataji from Surat, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Ravi Janardhan Prabhu, Mataji eppadi irkeenga? Goloka Gorangi Mataji, wow. Til Badam Laddu. Wow. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Yashoda Nandan Madhav Prabhu, Lalita Madhav Premi Mataji, strawberry ice cream. Kairava Chandrika Mataji and Geeteshwari Vishnu Priya Mataji, thank you for the khichdi. Shanmugam Prabhu, sheltered disciple from Chennai, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sushmita Mataji, Parata, thank you for the wonderful offering. Hare Krishna. Leela Krishna Charan Prabhu, thank you for the fries. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. It's not French fries, it's Indian fries. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Radha Devi Mataji from Kerala, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Guru Maharaj is blessing all of you. Thank you very much for joining. Sulakshana Gopi Mataji from Bangalore, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sumantra Gopi Mataji, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ujjwal Prema Bhakti Mataji, Shamrup, Anup, thank you for the roti and sabji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Atira Srinath, thank you for the idli, vada and coconut chutney. Bankim Govinda Prabhu, eppadi irkeenga? Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Anju Mataji, Hare Krishna. How to donate? Preeti, okay, wait. How to donate money to your institute? Okay, how to donate money to your institute? Okay, you can contact the local leaders there, Mataji. They will guide you how to donate. Hare Krishna. Lokapriti Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, you have. Huh? Okay, you can donate to mayapur.com. The Anju Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Lokapriti Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ananda Vishaka Mataji, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shri Hari Namamrita Prabhu, how are you all doing? Good, recovering. Can you unmute him if you don't know? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam, Guru Maharaj. With your blessings, our family is recovering, Guru Maharaj.
Very nice, very nice. Take care, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Baba Nandini Mataji, Tavancha Keda Hal Tava. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Tapu De Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Anuragini Sudevi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sasimukhi Madhavi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Deepshika Poonam Deepu, thank you for the mango milkshake, Hare Krishna. Gunapriya Gopin. Yeah. Hari Hare Krishna Chaitanya. Okay, Jagannath got repainted. You painted him? Oh. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that you're such a good artist. Lavanya Mai Induleka, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jamuna Jivani Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Rasika Ratika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you.
Спасибо, что присоединились. Гуру Махарадж благословляет Радарупи Матаджи. Спасибо за хлеб. Гуру Махарадж благословляет вас. Спасибо, что присоединились. Мантра Анандини Матаджи Хари Кришна. Спасибо, что присоединились. Гуру Махарадж благословляет вас. Спасибо за фрукты и цветок. Хари Кришна. Ямуна Илавати, Хари Кришна, Гуру Махарадж благословляет вас. Лалита Лока Парика Матаджи, Хари Кришна, Гуру Махарадж благословляет вас. Спасибо, что присоединились. Мадхура Годика Матаджи и дети Нитай, Нанга, Манджари, Гуру Махарадж благословляет вас. Спасибо за ваше подношение.
Remaining devotees we can visit after Bhagavatam class tomorrow. Oh, okay. Okay, sure, Guru Maharaj. Okay, which country, Guru Maharaj?
China.
Oh, Kasha Desh.
Okay, we are ending all.
No.
100% voted.
No.
100% voted.
354, 350. Wow. 90% voted.
1 second, I'll check.
I down the percentage.
Yeah, taken, noted.
Hurry up. Chinese.
Malini Kripa Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Chaitya Guru Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Charu Madhavi Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Lulu Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Rasarati Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Tungabhadra Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jashoda Padma Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jogapriya Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Kasha Desh done, Guru Maharaj. South America. South America. Nitai Chandra Nataraj Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sumukha Mataji, Guru Maharaj Bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Pani Sevika Mataji, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Leela Mai Gorangi, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Evelyn Giraldo, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Indira Janava Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Isha Priya Radha Mataji, Harinam Gauranga, Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Shravani Mataji, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Kolevecha Sridhar Prabhu, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, gracias por unirte, Baju Sri Nam Radha Mataji and her friend, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Baju Rupni Mataji, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Miguel Prabhu, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, gracias por unirte. Ishwar Parameshwara, Medini Mataji, gracias por su excelente Mahaprasada. Gopa Gopika Mataji, very nice. Jiveshwari Gandharvika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Pushpa Gopal Prabhu, bendiciones de Guru Maharaja, gracias por unirte. South America done, Guru Maharaj. North America. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari, Hari Bol. Anjana Gopika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sivapriya Subramania Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Balavrinda Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Chaya Mataji, Balaji Prabhu, where is Dhruva, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Amani Gaurchandra Prabhu and the family, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Krishna Namananda Prabhu, thank you for the rotis, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Second time special blessings. Mitra Vinda Mamata Mai and the daughters, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Nitai Haridas, Guru Maharaj is blessing you and the family. Prema Priya Patma Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sudarshan, Vaishnavi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Okay, Mataji send it the message to us. We'll read it to Guru Maharaj. Taruni Radha and Gandharvika, thank you for the apple dumpling. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Rupa Raghunandan Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vaishnav Vasavi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vaijayanti Lalita Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vraja Vinod Damodar Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sheshapati Govinda Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shamla Gopika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vrajeshwari Priya Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Gauri Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Nain Manjari Mataji, Nandakumar Krishna Prabhu and the whole family, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Patita Pavan Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Oh, Patita Pavan Balram Prabhu. Okay. Urjeshwari Mataji and the family, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Parsana Chit. Okay, Santi Umay Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Barsana Chitra Mataji, Lalitangi Mataji, Sevananda Chaitanya Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Nitai and Prahlad, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Gopikanta Krishna Prabhu, Kalindi Gopikanta Krishna Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Priya Narmada Mataji, thank you for the milk peda. Jai Radha Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Satyaraj Govinda Prabhu, Achita Priya Tulsi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Asvashena Govinda Prabhu, Jayanti Mala Mataji, Hare Krishna. Wow, wonderful feast. Guru Maharaj is blessing all of you. Thank you for the juice as well. Wow. Hare Krishna. Divyangi Lalita Mataji, thank you for the Palak Paneer Roti and Ampana. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. North America done, Guru Maharaj. Oh. Hari Bol, the Transcendental Twins, Guru Maharaj is blessing both of you. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Thank you for the cookies. Deeptiman made the cookies, is it? Oh, both made the cookies. Oh. Guru Maharaj, these two boys, they made the cookies for you. Antaranga Haripriya Mataji from UK, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Govinda Gopi Mataji, Nihama, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Dina Shrestha Mataji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sri Jita Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining you. First time she's joining. Madhur Nita, Nimai Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Neetu Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Raj Nagulapalli Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sangeet Priya Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sujana Lakshmi Kant, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Utkarshini Simantini, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Alka Dhruv Patel, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ishani Madhuri Mate, Prem Prakash Gaur Prabhu, Aradhya, thank you for the Rajma rice salad. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Malya Yashashwini, Rajendra Nagulapalli Prabhu, the blessings to the whole family. Parmeshwari Pavitra, Sudarshana Vrajesha, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Veena Nitai Karna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Krishna and Samyak, where is Samyak? Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Meeta and Siddhi, where is Siddhi? Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sarva Sumadhuri Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Bharati Revati Mataji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jai Jagannath. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu from Reading, Shri Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Kusum Bhatt next. Kusum Bhatt. Mayapur Ishwari Lakshmi Priya Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for joining. Kusum Bhatt Mataji from Dehradun, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sarunan Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Swati Mataji, we just saw your parents, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vijay Namavaram Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. I want to chant when I see Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is a Maha Bhagavat, Hari Bol. Oh, he feels like chanting whenever he sees you. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Achyut Priyasi Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Arvinda Krishna Prabhu, Yamuneshwari Mataji, thank you for the Salem mangoes. Aripita Lakshmi Mataji and Yaduvir Prabhu Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Manohar Nita Chand Prabhu, Supriya Janava Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing both of you. Aryan Sai, Tamal Krishna, Manjula Srikant Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Sumuki Harini Mataji, thank you for the mini banana. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sumuki Basudha, she's from Mayapur. How come she's there in UK? Hare Krishna. Anyway, blessings to you. Oh, Hare Krishna. Sukanti Revati Mataji from Anantananda Desh. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Guru Maharaj done UK. Middle East. Okay. Anywhere else in Europe? Oh, Karthik. Hare Krishna. Bagunara. Please unmute yourself.
Middle East, right.
Okay. Is Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Karthik Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Krishna Matirastu. Okay, Chitra Sharma Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you from Damodar Desh. Lata Ashwani Mataji Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Nitai Chandra Natraj Prabhu Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Oh, Krishna, I'm very sorry, Mataji. Guru Maharaj, yeah, please say, Mataji.
Prabhuji, my father passed away today morning.
Okay.
Morning, Prabhu. Guru Maharaj, please pray for us. Guru Maharaj.
What is your father's name?
Ashok Patel.
Ashok Patel Prabhu, your disciple Tejaswani Rukmini Mataji's father. He passed away today morning. Did they put tulsi leaves, Ganga water, Charanamrita, everything?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Hari Bol. Guru Maharaj is praying for him. Okay, you take care of yourself. Hare Krishna.
Some what can do all that.
Yeah, she said, I asked her already, Guru Maharaj. She said. Rangadevi Gopika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Seva Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing all of it. Hari Bol. Banke Bihari we can see. Shama Smita Mataji, Dosa Chutney, Saffron Milk, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Premamai Satyabhama Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sandhya Vasudev, Vinod and Vrinda, thank you for the laddu and milk, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shobha Yashoda Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jayada Rukmani Mataji and the Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Jai Raseshwari Mataji, thank you for the Alfonso mangoes. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sadguna Maya Devaki Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Swarna Gopika Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Haribo, show Guru Maharaj your homemade noodles. Okay. Haribo, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. So, okay, from Mathura Desh now. Subhadra Premamai Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Bhakti Chaitanya Priya, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Gauranga Ganeshaya Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Madhava Suguna Mataji, Guru Maharaj, Sugopi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Rasapriya Radharani Mataji, Mahananda Chaitanya Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shankarshan Chaitanya Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Bhavatarni Mataji, Swaminathan Prabhu and the daughter, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. White sauce pasta, Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Pati Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna, wedding anniversary of Vinay Nitai Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you, and Lakshmi Radha Mataji, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Vasudha Konidala, Guru Maharaj is blessing you, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. From Balram Desh, Achyut Giridhari Prabhu, okay, is infected by COVID. Please send an email to covid@jayapatakaswami.com. Guru Maharaj will pray for you. Vaijayanti Saki Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Tapta Kanchan Madhavi Mataji, Srila Guru Maharaj is blessing you, and Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Suhasini Gaurangi from Anantanantadesh, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Snehamai Basudha Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Ekanishta Lakshmi Priya Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sharada Brajashri Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shripi Chaudhary Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sukanti Revati Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sukanti Induleka Mataji, Srila Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Krishna Katha Desh, Champak Lata Mataji, Srila Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Mukhya Madhavi Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Shama Shri Prada Mataji and Brajesh, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Leela Rani Sita Devi Dasi, Srila Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna. Sudevi Rani Mataji, you have to switch on your video. Hare Krishna. K Rani Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Kakuli. She's not there. Guru Maharaj, we are done. We are done. Middle East. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Ramesh Prabhu and family, Hare Krishna. Oh, this is Seva Padma Mataji. Sri Ranga Devi Dasi, Krishna Gopakumar Das. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna.
anyone without any?
Suguna Rangadevi Mataji, Ragi Idiyappam and Potato Gravy, Hare Krishna from Sri Lanka, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Vishwanathan Sudha and Anusika Pran Jeevan, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Dushyantan from Sri Lanka, House Siva Prakasam Prabhu and your mother, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, Basudev Uddaran Prabhu, happy birthday. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you for the lychee and garland. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for the imitation carob cake. Mausaha Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Rebati, Rupapati Kritira Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Venu Sham Sundar Prabhu, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Sanchita Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Divya Mataji, thank you for the tortillas. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Uttara Mataji, Guru Maharaj is blessing you from Virginia, USA. Thank you very much for joining. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Arti Mataji, oh, Hare Krishna Vanakam, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna, Basudev Uddaran Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Natyastu.
Swati Monica and Sweetie, Guru Maharaj is blessing.
Krishna Natyastu.
Krishna Matirastu to everyone. Gallery view darshan, please. Hari Govinda Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Thank you very much for joining. Hari Bol. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Okay, and don't miss to attend Bhagavatam class tomorrow morning. And morning darshan will be specially meant for the Far East devotees, and if you have